This morning I saw something that really interested me on Twitter and I really needed to talk about it. It's this thing called the Future Library, and an artist called Katie Peterson has decided to grow a forest in Norway, and in 2114, so in 100 years time, those trees will be cut down and made into texts written by outstanding authors. So the books can be anything, they don't even have to be books. I think they can be short story or probably poetry. It seems like you can do anything, but it has to be on around a theme of like imagination and time. And I just think, oh my gosh, I'm just like, my mind is completely blown by this. The text can also be written in any language, so not just English, so that makes it really interesting as well. No one's going to be allowed to read those texts until 2114, so we are never going to read those probably, and that feeling is just so... Margaret Atwood is the first outstanding author that's been chosen to contribute to this public art thing. So yeah, it's really exciting, and I just wish I could be around at the end of it to see, to read the books, because that would be amazing, but obviously it's not going to happen. The one thing that I am most upset about death is the fact that I won't know what happens in like 100 years time. So now this has come around and it's exactly what I was thinking. So I know that this thing is going to happen in 100 years time, but I don't know I can't access that. And that feeling is just so like good and bad at the same time. I don't know how to feel. Margaret Atwood also said that they'll probably need translators in 100 years time to translate the works to like their language, because obviously it won't have changed that much, but it will have changed enough that maybe they might need a little bit of help. And I thought that was really interesting, because there'll be so many new words and so many new ways of saying things. And I just wanted to read this quote from Katie Peterson about the project and about how she imagines Margaret Atwood's text. So here it goes. I imagine her words growing through the trees, an unseen energy activated and materialised, the tree rings becoming chapters in a book. And I just think that's so beautiful. Like, you can really... It's kind of like the idea of Michelangelo, with the marble, and being able to see the statue in the marble. It just... It's kind of like there's finally a writer's version of it. And because I'm a writer, I was trying to decide how I would feel if somebody asked me to do it. And I think that's the thing I like about it as well, the fact that somebody from our generation is going to be picked, because one person is going to be picked every single year up until 2114, which means that some of the authors haven't even been born yet, which is just amazing. Yeah, so as a writer, I was just trying to figure out how I would feel if somebody asked me to do that, and it meant writing something and never being able to talk about it and never knowing how people are going to react to it. In one way, I think it would be just amazing, because having people read your work is really scary, and I know I do reviews and I've seen some really scathing reviews that terrify me, almost enough to put me off writing, not quite. So in one way it would be really, really good, but in another way there would always be that feeling of, I don't know, knowing that somebody is going to read your work and you're going to connect to that person, but never knowing how. I hope that you have some opinions that you can leave in the comments, because I would love to talk about this. I think it sounds like an amazing project, and I'm just really interested and inspired by it. So who do you think will write the other books? Who do you think will read the books? What do you think the books will look like? Do you think that this is a really amazing, inspiring idea, or are you upset that you won't be able to read the books? All those kinds of questions, just answer them, and any more that you think of, anything is great. I'll also leave the links to articles on the project and anything about it that I think is useful. As for my Friday reads, I am reading The Beach by Alex Garland at the moment, and I'm really enjoying it. It's about a guy who goes on a backpacking holiday and some other guy leaves him a map to a secret island, and I haven't got much further than that, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So what are you reading this weekend? Are you enjoying it? You can also leave answers to that down below too, and thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Bye! And I had this really awful thought, right? What if they ask J.K. Rowling to do this and she writes a prequel or a sequel to Harry Potter?